Next is David Meltzer with Wrestling Observer.
Paul, a couple questions. Kota Ibushi has said, and I don't know, obviously sometimes when people are ready to sign, they aren't supposed to say anything until you guys make the announcement. But he has said that he's interested in working for you, but he's also interested in working in Japan and that type of a deal. Are you guys open for the idea of, say, whether it's a cruiserweight or even somebody else who would work, matches in Japan, maybe with some of the groups there, as well as do big shows for you, or do you want guys to be pretty much exclusive to you?
I mean, I think there's there's openings. I mean, a year ago I worked with Liger. We're open to doing different things. I think when it comes to the cruiserweight division, we're looking for something solely WWE and keeping it in-house. I think we'll see. I kind of work with everybody as they're coming in and just kind of see what they have going on and see where we want to go from there. And all of this is kind of a work in progress, especially with the cruiserweights. It's morphed from an idea to a concept that we put on the network to this is great, we're going to make it a part of Raw, to trying to morph it into that. So we're in the process of that now. I'm open to things, but it's when we're talking about creating WWE superstars, we're looking to create WWE superstars and work with them.
Now, also, not that recently, but you hired a new strength and conditioning coach down there. And is there a new philosophy, or is it an existing philosophy as far as the nature of training guys? Because I know I've talked to a lot of guys, because obviously, you had a rash there where there's one shoulder surgery after another, and different guys to different theories as to why. Some people blamed, and I don't even know, but some people blame CrossFit training, thinking that that's not good for your joints combined with pro wrestling. Some people, were questioning about heavy Olympic lifting, if that's not conducive to also doing pro wrestling. And pro wrestling itself, the way obviously the modern style, guys get their shoulders banged up. But I mean, is there any kind of change, so to speak, or has he given any input to you, or have you given any input to him on, obviously that injury seemed to be a preponderance of that injury, both on the main roster and even more in NXT, 6 months ago, and even to an extent today.
Yeah, it's funny, we're looking into all of that as far as, trends or cause and effect of things like that, but it's always been a weird thing to me in the business that one guy will get an ACL and then 5 guys will get an ACL, and then all of a sudden, now it's quads, and then now it's shoulders, and I don't know why that is, and I don't know. Look, as many guys as I've seen people write reports and say, oh well, it's the Olympic lifting or the CrossFit stuff versus other types of training. I don't know. I've known just as many guys with bad rotator cuff tears and shoulders problems that have never done an Olympic lift in their life, as I do guys at Olympic lift that have those same injuries. So I think it's difficult to pin it on one thing, other than at some point in time it's a physical business, right? And so, but are we looking at that? Absolutely. Sean, our new strength and conditioning coach, is one of the best in the country, and that's part of the process of things we're looking into now is monitoring them through the athletic development of their careers and how injuries play out and how to work against them. It's part of the entire process of the strength and conditioning program. It's not just I think for some people they look at it, they go, oh well, they just want everybody to look like bodybuilders. It's not it at all. We want people to be as healthy as possible. So part of the process is I term it myself, I just call it trying to make them bulletproof, is you're trying to create athletes through everyday exposure to them that are if they're starting to have issues a little bit with their shoulders, you start to work on the internal structure of the shoulder to strengthen it to try to keep them healthy, keeping them as polished and flexible and mobile and strong and powerful and all those things along the way will long term lead to a longer, healthier career. But it's a work in progress. And as the great thing is, we live in a great time where technology is amazing, and we're looking into systems now to help monitor that training as well. And it's no different than the NFL. To be quite honest, I consider us fairly further down the road than a lot of NFL teams at this point. But we're trying to establish those links so that we can work around them and try to keep our guys as healthy as possible for as long as possible.
Okay, cool. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you.